Look, you might not want to hear it, but this movie is never going to happen. Hello everybody, I'm Robert Storms. Welcome back to the channel once again. If you're finding me for the very first time, be sure to click that subscribe button. I know that many of you guys have been asking my opinion on the Steven Spielberg directed Blackhawk movie for the upcoming DC universe. And I'm sorry I haven't got a chance to talk about this before, but now we're going to sit down, we're going to talk about this, because unlike a lot of people, I'm actually really skeptical that this movie's ever going to happen. And you're probably asking me, why am I so skeptical? What makes you think that this movie's not going to happen? Well, guys, if you aren't familiar with some of the stuff going on behind the scenes, Steven Spielberg has two other movies in line to direct next. He has Indiana Jones 5, and then after that, West Side Story. He's going to be rebooting the West Side Story. That was actually going to be his next movie, but he decided to put that off so he can get to Indiana Jones 5. So there's two movies already in line for Steven Spielberg to direct. Now, with that said, the earliest that Steven Spielberg will be able to direct the Blackhawk movie at the earliest is 2020, which means that Blackhawk won't be released until 2021 or early 2022. So we're talking about a movie that's what, 4-5 years out? And let's talk about this, guys. Who the hell even knows what Blackhawk is? Do you guys know who Blackhawk? Before the movie was announced, did anybody on the earth know what Blackhawk was? No, nobody. Very, very rare select group in the world knew what the Blackhawk comic was. They knew what this property was. Even hardcore comic book fans didn't know anything about Blackhawk. It wasn't until after we heard about the movie that we looked it up and found out what it was. Only a small amount, only a small minority of comic book fans knew what Blackhawk was. If this does happen, Steven Spielberg won't be the one directing it. I believe Steven Spielberg might end up producing the movie, but I don't think he's going to direct it. And I know what else you guys might be thinking. If Steven Spielberg is producing it, that's still a win, because it's going to turn out great because he is producing it. But you're wrong there too, because Steven Spielberg produced a lot of movies that haven't been good. So you can't automatically assume just because he's producing this film that it's going to be a good movie. And this also shines the light on the biggest problem over at Warner Brothers that I've been talking about for a better part of 2 months now. There is no direction. They let these directors come in and they let them have all the freedom to do whatever they want. Martin Scorsese come in, he wants to do a Joker origin film. Doesn't matter if it doesn't fit into your plan, but since he's Martin Scorsese, he can do it. Then Steven Spielberg comes in and he wants to do Blackhawk. Doesn't matter if it doesn't fit in your plan. He's Steven Spielberg, you let him do it. Where over at Marvel, the reason why a movie like Avengers Infinity War and Black Panther are so successful, because Kevin Feige has a game plan. So even when someone like Edgar Wright comes in and he makes this great script and Kevin Feige's like, this script is great, but it doesn't fit into what we're doing, so they had to part ways. Because Kevin Feige's like, this is our game plan, this is what we have to do. If you can't do that, then I'm sorry, we have to part ways due to creative differences. Where over at DC, they're afraid to say no. They are so scared to pull the trigger on anything that they're willing to do stuff like The New God and Blackhawk and Joker Origin Story and Birds of Prey. Like, all these properties don't need to be made right now. You need to lay a foundation. A foundation. I'm tired of repeating myself. I really am. Because you might not believe this, I am a huge DC fan. I like the characters. I love the characters. I grew up with the Richard Donner Superman. I love Superman. And it pisses me off that DC refuses to lay the groundwork. You have Man of Steel, Batman v Superman, Wonder Woman. Lay the groundwork. Give us a sequel to those films so we can lay this groundwork. Then you start doing like a Blackhawk movie and a New Gods movie, and you start putting these pieces together. It's like they don't know how to play chess. And how do you play chess? You don't automatically just take your queen and your king and move them onto the board into battle. You have to take your pawns and you have to rearrange the board. That's what you have to do. And the people at Warner Brothers, Walter Hamada, I'm sorry, everything I've seen since he's been in power doesn't change my mind at all. Because since he's been in power, we got a Blackhawk announcement, a New Gods announcement, and a Birds of Prey announcement. None of those films fit into what the DCE should be doing. You got to lay the groundwork. And then you build your foundation, then you build up. Where you look at Marvel, they're able to do something like Infinity War because they've been building groundwork for over 10 years. So do I think Blackhawk is going to happen? I'll tell you what, I think there's about a 10% chance that the Blackhawk movie might actually happen. Because it's so many years out, there's not even a script ready. All they have is just an announcement. How many movies had DC announced? How many movies have they announced and it just got trashed? It never came in production. So, like I said, I give this film about 10% chance for a property that you, me, none of us ever heard of. Small minority of people heard of it, guys. Small minority. So, that's just my thoughts on it. I want to know what you guys think. Are you looking forward to the Blackhawk movie? Do you think this is a good thing for the DCEU, a right step? What do you guys think? Be sure to leave your comments in the comment box below. Be sure to hit that like button. Once again, guys, if you're finding my channel for the very first time, be sure to hit that subscribe button. Until next time, guys, as always, I'm Robert Storms, and that's my opinion.